The open boat story, called realistic fiction because it is a true event that happened in the life of the author. He uses true life experience in the story, attempting to survive under extreme conditions in the open boat. There are four characters: the captain, who give direction and lead the crew; the cook, in charge of bailing the water; the oiler, in charge of rowing before he worked a double watch in the engine; the correspondent, the one who's rowing with the oiler. In day about to leave into the harbor, the ship struck a sandbar. The captain ordered the voyage to continue, and it was not until they were well at the sea that the crew discovered extensive damage to the hull. Considering the order to abandon the ship hence, character of the story decide to use the small boat to go to shore to survive. None of them know the color of the sky, establish the existential conflict that disturbed the correspondent, the threat of the waves, that they do not allow themselves to look up. The suggestion that they do not know the color of the sky establish a tone of uncertainty. The story told from the point of view of a third person. The correspondent lightened over any other character because in the real life, Crane is the correspondent. He emphasized mostly the perspective of the correspondent rather than any other character. The significance of choosing this is the correspondent know a lot of the incident. The mood of the story shifts from despair to hope to relief to grief. The narrator describes the characters by telling what they feel. The correspondent falling at the other hour, watching the waves and wonder why he was there. This passage means that the narrator was trying to tell that correspondent has a feeling of ineffable loneliness and hopelessness. The bond between the four, the story, is a strong bond. They do their best and help each other to survive in their situation. They stay strong in fighting for their lives to survive. But aside from it, they also feel fear of the situation and uncertainty to survive. That is why what they did is exchanging addresses so that in case any of them die, there is someone who will contact his family and tell what happened. Shark is the danger in the story. The wave represents his less presence in the story and constant nuisance to the refugee. The ocean waves suggest both the force of nature and uncontrollability of life that make them feel hopelessness. The open boat has a bit of a surprise ending. The men abandon their boat and swim for shore, but only the three survive. The strongest man, the oiler, succumbed to the sea and drowned. The story has a conflict of man's against nature and also man versus itself, fighting for their life, that have a strong ideas of survival, in the way of trying to survive the wild and unpredictable nature. In the story, the open boat give pattern like a color that you will encounter. The color hiding a meaning on it. Black represent death and darkness. Gray represent dull and loneliness. White represent gladness and positiveness. It is important to understand the story for us to know and acknowledge the feeling of the author, and also to have an overview to the story to fully understand it. There are four symbolisms in the story: the wave, sea, shark, and the boat. The wave represents certain problems in our life. Shark used to realize how cruel nature is. The boat symbolizes the life of the human, and the ocean symbolizes the universe. The boat is being tossed about on the ocean, telling what problem really is, and tell how cruel the nature. The same way that people lives and tossed about by the universe. The story tells a theme